I raised my KD in Rainbow Six Siege from a 0.6 to a 1.3 with one simple trick. Currently in Rainbow Six Siege, we're in an extremely aggressive and fast-paced meta. People are choosing to play operators that could frag out more compared to support operators. However, this is where the problem starts. While it seems like the smart idea to play operators like Ashe or Warden, you'd be wrong. Instead of playing someone just because they have a 1.5x scope, try playing more support operators. While at first it seems like a bad idea, once you start to see how good support operators can really be, you'll want to try them out. Operators like Ashe and Warden are great frag operators, but that's all they're used for. They don't bring much else to the table other than for fragging out. So if your aim isn't the best or you're just having an off day, you're pretty much useless to your team and won't get any kills. However, if you play a support operator, no matter if your aim isn't the best or not, you're still useful to the team and can set yourself up for easy kills. But how does this help to raise your KD? Well, let me explain. By playing more support, you're most likely going to be more focused on a task at hand, like trying to open up a breach or trying to stop a breach from being opened. Doing things like this will put pressure on the enemy team and force them to lose more map control. This is important because now it's setting you up to get easy kills. If the enemies keep losing map control, they'll be forced into one area. So now they're either backed into a corner or have to funnel through one area. This means you can get easy kills as the enemies have no options left. Let's say you don't want to play as a breacher or someone who brings wall denial though. That's okay as there's multiple support roles. Another great support role is someone who brings intel. Intel is extremely important because the more intel you have on the enemy, the easier it is to kill them. For example, let's say you're playing as Velk. You can obtain information on enemies without them even knowing you have information on them. With that information, you're able to position yourself properly to kill the enemy. Now you might be thinking, while playing support operators may sound good, playing as frag operators still seems like the better way to get more kills, but that's not the case. It is true that some people could solely play frag operators and get lots of kills, but it won't work for everyone. To be a good fragger, you have to have extremely good aim, extremely good game sense, and extremely good game mechanics. You have to constantly be on point and be able to get kills without much intel on the enemies or much map control. You are pretty much playing with all the odds against you as a fragger, compared to as a support player you're playing with the odds in your favor. A fragger has to really work for their kills and hope that they have better aim and game sense compared to the enemies. But a support player could easily get kills by forcing the enemies into bad positions, gaining intel on the enemies, or even getting free kills from traps. That's another role of a support player, is to bring traps. Traps are extremely important for slowing enemies down or else they get punished for it. If you're smart with where you put your traps, you can get free kills from the trap itself or from the audio that the trap gives off. I personally like to mix up my support roles to best fit how the enemy plays. So on defense, sometimes I'll bring wall denial or intel denial, sometimes I'll bring intel, and sometimes I'll bring traps. While on attack, sometimes I'll bring a breacher, sometimes I'll bring someone who provides intel, and sometimes I'll bring someone who can help get wall denial off. It all depends on what my team needs at the time. That's what a good support player does. They bring what their team needs to help support the team. As a fragger, you play more selfish and just bring a good gun every round instead of bringing anything to help the team. This means if you're not getting multiple kills a round, you're giving the enemies one less thing to have to deal with or worry about. Again, you might be thinking, what does this have to do with your KD? Well, think about it like this. The more you help your teammates out, the more likely you are to stay alive. If your team is staying alive longer, then you'll have more of a chance to gain man advantage. With man advantage, you're more likely to win the rounds. Also with man advantage, you won't have to try clutching the rounds as often. This leads to you dying less, which in return raises your KD. The longer you keep yourself alive and your team alive, the more likely you are to win the round and not die. Obviously, with less deaths, your KD starts to get better. On the other hand, if you just try to frag out, you're putting yourself in more risky situations that could get you killed. Think about it, as a fragger, you're put into situations where you're going up against multiple enemies at a time. That could lead to you dying, not only giving the enemies the man advantage, but giving them less utility to deal with because you didn't bring any. Now yes, some people are able to perform good every round as a fragger and get multiple kills a round. If you're that good, then yes, playing as a fragger is definitely your role. But you probably already have a good KD if you're already a really good fragger. So for the people that keep trying to be a fragger but aren't the best at it, then playing support might just be your best bet. I know it's common to think that support players can't get kills, but you'd be mistaken. Support players can most definitely get kills. You could get those kills without having the best aim in the world or the best game mechanics. Really, as long as you're supporting your team properly, the kills will come your way a lot easier than you think they will. I know it sucks that not everyone could be the crazy fragger that top frags every game and wins all their gunfights, but at the end of the day, Rainbow Six Siege is a team game. You play on a team, you work as a team, and you win as a team. Within a team, there's different roles that everyone must play. A good team has to have multiple roles or else they won't succeed. So while you might want to have a fragger role, maybe someone else just fits the role better. In that case, you should really consider a different role, like a support role. You might just begin to play better, die less, and benefit your team more. In return, you'll start to see your KD go up and look a lot better. In conclusion, if you want to raise your KD in Rainbow Six Siege, then you need to understand your role. Every good team has different people that play different roles within it. While most people want to play the role of a fragger who wins all of their gunfights and top frags every game, you might want to reconsider your role if you can't play the fragger that well. Instead, try a support role that could help benefit yourself and your team. Playing a support role isn't as bad as people think it is. By playing as a support, you're applying pressure on the enemy team by using utility and gadgets. The more pressure you put on the enemy team, the more likely you are to get easy kills by forcing them into bad positions and making them funnel through one area. Gaining easy kills will keep you and your team alive, which in return raises your KD. So try switching up your role today. Who knows, maybe you're a great support and you're able to get your KD from a negative to a positive, just like I did. That's it for me though. What role are you best at in Rainbow Six Siege? Let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, then please give it a like. And if you want more content like this, then subscribe. Have a great day, everyone.